Hi guys, I'm Lisa for wtfLisa Tarot, and this is a blackout message. Weird vibes. So weird. I mean, it always is. Such is the world. And it's tarot. If it's not weird, why would you read it? Anyway, so this is the blackout message. I don't have music. I don't have cards. It's just all intuitive. The vibe all night has been people trying to enact contracts, karmic contracts they do not have and never did. This is my case, my karmic. I told him, and I just did a few different readings where I over-explained, so I'm going to try to just keep it brief. I told him our first phone call, 2016, in order for me to even consider negotiating a contract with him, he would have to approach me like a normal person. He would have to date me like a normal person, and then I could consider negotiating. At which point, just the weirdest shit kept happening. He told people I had agreed when I didn't. He had people, fucking flying monkey people, because he's a narc, harassing me, kept trying to pull the twin flame bullshit on me, but I don't think he's my twin flame. I think he's just a karmic trying to play pretend. This man repulses me like no other. Now, I had said in order for me to consider negotiating, you would have to approach me like a normal person. Already, this conversation that I was having with him was not normal. He had already approached me in order for us to be having that conversation. Therefore, what, is he going to re-approach me again as a normal person? I already have that mindset that he's not normal. The other issue was I found out, and a few months before this weird conversation, he had messaged me on Twitter and said, I want your eyeball, or something weird like that. And I was like, what the fuck? He sent me a picture of my own eye. He blew up a picture from Twitter of my eye and was like, I want it on a pillow. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like, you know how you put a picture on a pillow? I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like almost curious. Is this weird guy, is there some weird creepy leather face from fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre looking dude out there with my fucking eyeball on a pillow? Like, what is that? Do I think he did it? I don't even know. This man was weird. So he had approached me, the weird phone call, the weird message months before with my eyeball. So it was a real winner, right? And then I found out from him, I did not realize he was the same person, because I remember this. I keep over-explaining once I get to this part. In 2006, 10 years before we even spoke on the phone and I was aware he even existed, 10 years before I knew he existed, I had this encounter. I was at work, and this man walked into my store, and when I turned around, he was at the counter, and I said, can I help you? And right when we met eyes, it was a really horrifying fucking experience. I saw flames. I saw horrifying things. I felt horrifying feelings, and in my head I thought, how did he find me again? I thought I hid so well this time. Which is a weird fucking thing to think, like, ever. But I didn't know who this was. I didn't know him from Adam. That was the other thing I kept thinking in my head, and that's a weird thing. And it applies, but I'm not getting into that. So then, this idiot taps on the counter weird, because everything he does is fucking goofy and weird. And then he goes, yeah. And then walks out the entrance instead of the exit, because fucking weird. And then after he left my store, a few months later, that store closed. And it had nothing to do with my company yet. That company ended up closing down too. It was some property dispute over a family inheritance, which ended up coming into play later. For me, I don't have a money inheritance. It's a spiritual one, which is why I'm here now. And that's what he said he was after, which is a weird thing to tell someone. Anyway, so at this point, and he said there were other times he tried to approach me, but he said I acted like he wasn't there. And when I think back to those times he described, I don't remember him. It's like he was not there. But at this point now, phone call 2016, I said you would have to approach me like a normal person. Well, he had already approached me 3 times that I was aware of in non-normal ways. So I already think he's abnormally fucking weird. So there is no way at this point he could ever approach me normally. That fucking judgment's already there. So there can never be a negotiation. Therefore, there can never be a contract. he's trying to enact this thing on me. He's got people harassing me. He's bugging me, saying all this weird shit to me. He's telling me later he did black magic on me. So there was a short time where I would speak with him only on the phone or Xbox. Because dude's some lazy ass motherfucking weird fat troll. He just plays video games and molests people and does weird shit, from what he told me. He doesn't have a real job. He doesn't do real things. He's not even smart enough. If you talk to him for 5 minutes, you realize he's kind of like mentally slow. He's like, yeah. But he thinks he's a narc, so he's like, I'm amazing. He's like really stupid. And he's going on about how he's my twin flame, but no, he's not. He's just some karmic playing pretend. There's no way in hell that thing is anything. And he kept talking about copying people. Like, some of his, he has this weird frumpy farm of like the fuggliest chicks you've ever seen. Like, I got a job at a store, and then one of them got a job at a store. I started in eBay, one of them started in eBay. And around the time I start those things, they start buddying up to me. It's the weirdest shit. They act like morons on a script, because that's what they are. So anyway, I was thinking about that tonight again out of nowhere. And it's because time's up. He told me, our last conversation, when he cried, when I reminded him of that we have no contract and never did. And he was like, saying he would owe somebody a lot of money, and these kind of people aren't the ones you want to screw over. And I'm like, that's all you've done, buddy. I said, in order to even negotiate a contract, you'd have to approach me like a normal person. You already never have, so you can never have this contract. You've been screwing whoever these people are over, which they're not people, but I don't care. I don't give a shit. Honey, you broke so much spiritual law, and you've never had this contract, and you stole from them. I mean, I'm not happy with them. We're not getting into that. But I gotta say, dudes, like, terrorized me over bullshit, and then he stole from whoever set him up. And it's like, you really think karma's not coming, buddy? I know most of my karmics are gonna be gone by September 2024. It's not up to me. It's what he told me. They all did Luciferian contracts to do weird shit. And their contract literally said they would, most of them, not all, but most of them will be gone by September 2024. And they were like, yay! It was a weird conversation letting him know that that's the case. And he's like, yeah, but if I do this, and I'm like, it doesn't matter, you're out. You never had a contract, and you were told you would be wiped out by this time anyway. And then today, heavy fill-in from about late morning, and it's stronger now, that 3 will be going soon. I don't know why they do it in 3s. Over the winter, they did it in 3 of my, 3 of his herpy harem idiots passed away. I'm sure there's more that they won't tell me about, but I will find out. But I have the energy of 3 going. So I'm just curious. And they like, you know, they're really big on the numerology. 3s, 33s, 303s, 33333. Well, I mean, you tried to enact a contract you did not have. I keep getting people bugging me. I don't know why. There's no contract. All their bullshit's dead. The bullshit they were working on canceled. Most of them, as far as like social media goes, they come up as spam. They don't even, like, even social media doesn't register them as a person. Like, it's just the biggest clusterfuck I've seen, and people are still bugging me and still trying to enact a contract they don't have. So I just see pretty much horrifying death for them, and it sucks. You can't warn them and tell them. Like, I told them over and over, knock it off. You don't have a contract, you're wiped out. They don't believe me. And then all of a sudden there's these train derailments where there's chemicals spilling into water, there's gas leaks, and it's all in cities where these people live, and they still don't believe. They still don't believe it. Some of them, they're dying of mysterious illnesses, and they still think they're fine. It's the weirdest shit. Instead of like doing what you do when you fuck up a contract and doing the right thing, they just keep making everything worse. So I don't know if anyone else has the weird thing where people who didn't have contracts are trying to force them on you, but they can't do that, and they'll be taken out.